Hello, it's time for Flashback, the weekly history quiz. Let's find out what's happened in history. What do we have? We'll start in 1699. The Dutch are among the first to cultivate coffee outside of Arabia. They grow it on the island of Java. Right, 1699, okay. Against that, an American judge, Sol Wachtler, says prosecutors are so powerful that they can get juries to indict a ham sandwich. He's later indicted for extortion. Whoops. I wonder if he was as easy to indict as a ham sandwich. I've definitely heard that phrase before. The grand jury could indict a ham sandwich. Anyway, that'll be sometime in the 20th century for sure. Yes, 1985. Okay. The astronaut John Young sneaks a sandwich onto his Gemini spacecraft, but the crumbs get everywhere, so NASA later uses tortillas instead of bread. That's a really good fact. More sandwiches. That's funny. That'll be, I don't know, probably the 60s. Yes, 1965. Connecticut and other states ban 9-pin bowling, blaming it for gambling and crime. Players are said to bowl with 10 pins to evade such laws. Good job. Good job, bowlers. When do I think that is? Probably the 19th century. Yes, 1841. William Eno creates New York City's first traffic plan, popularizing stop signs, crosswalks, traffic circles, and one-way streets. He never learns to drive himself, though. Traffic circles didn't really seem to catch on in North America, whereas they're all over the place in Europe. The involvement of automobiles here suggests it'll be late 19th or early 20th century, early 20th, 1909. Okay, UN peacekeepers deployed during the Suez Crisis, but Canadian and British troops have similar flags, causing confusion. Interesting. Canada later creates its maple leaf flag. Fascinating. That's the Suez Crisis. That'll be in the 50s. Yes, 1956. A Vermont secretary, Ida Mae Fuller, retires. After a brief stop at a government office, she becomes the first person to get a monthly Social Security check. Amazing. That's interesting. I don't know. When would the first person have received a Social Security check? I mean, that would have come out of the New Deal, I think. So, presumably, sometime in the late 40s or 50s? Oh, not even late, 1940, okay. There we go. I was just thinking, I was trying to think, would there have been a period where people would have had to accrue a kind of credit? Like, would it have retroactively applied to people who'd already been working at the point at which the legislation was passed? Probably. I guess I could read about that. Anyway, Claude Monet paints haystacks. As the light changes, he needs a new canvas to capture it, and then another. He's said to use a wheelbarrow for all his canvases. What does that mean? He's said to use a wheelbarrow for... Oh, in the sense of he has what, like a whole pile of canvases and he has to roll them out. I see. That's what that's referring to. Claude Monet. I want to say after 1841. It was. Yeah. Okay. Well, after 1890. Okay. After a cholera outbreak, Chicago starts to elevate much of the city to improve drainage. Workers raise some blocks of buildings by 6 feet or more. One of the things I find really interesting about walking around any city of, any significant age is how much of the city is clearly at a significantly higher grade than it would have been, 100 or more years ago. I find that always a striking thing. Anyway, when do I think this would be? This is another week where everything's getting a bit crammed. I don't really know. The cholera outbreak. Oh, boy. Do I think it's between 1909 and 1940? That seems so tight. It's really tight before that as well, though. It's actually even more so. It's only a 20-year, 19-year gap between those. I don't know. Maybe it's earlier in the 19th century. I'm honestly not sure. No, I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put it after 1909. No, I was right the first time. Okay. Well, got one wrong. So it goes. That was the most common score region, although I guess I'll see how many points I lost for that. Okay, let's see what tripped other people up. Most people, but not everybody, got 9-pin bowling in Connecticut correct. Half of people misplaced Chicago, so I was in good company there. Where do they say how many points they're worth? Someone mentioned this to me, and I don't know where to find that. It doesn't really matter. Okay, Claude Monet, a quarter of people misplaced that, and his painting is, serial painting of haystacks. A chunk of people misplaced New York City's first traffic plan, and an even larger chunk of people misplaced the Social Security check collection. A quarter of people misplaced the Suez Crisis. Very few people misplaced John Young and his sandwich. And unsurprisingly, just about everybody correctly placed the ham sandwich indictment. So lots of, actually, people were being tripped up all over the place here, but most significantly in the same place I was with the regrade of Chicago. Okay, well, there we go. Those were some events in history. I always enjoy that. Back next week with more of this. Bye for now.